Hey everybody, MrBookieboo here, and today we're going to talk about road plates. Now, I know there's been a lot of controversy in the LEGO community about the new road plates that have come out for years and years, and really since almost time began, we've had traditional base plates that had roads on them, like this old guy here. So this guy is from my old collection when I was a kid. You know, it was a 32 by 32 base plate with some road patterns on it. There you go. Over the years, they kind of evolved. I don't have all of them from over the years. I wish I did. But they've evolved. And then for about maybe the last 15 years or so, we've had this guy right here. Now, first thing you're going to notice compared to this one is that the actual road part is a whole lot wider. I actually like these a lot better because back in the day when I was a kid, there was enough room here. You could actually build like buildings and stuff and put it right on here, and you didn't really need anything extra to expand outwards, whereas the newer ones, you can't really do much with these 6 wide studded sidewalk areas here on the side. I just use them for sidewalks in my layout if you've seen, you know, in the background. But this is what we've had to work with for like 15 years. And we've adapted. You know, it's nice because it actually works really well with the modulars, which happen to sit on base plates as well. And then what you can do, you know, like you see here, is I would just add like little more tiles to it to expand the sidewalk from the modular out, so you'd end up with these gigantic sidewalks, which is good and bad. But this is what we've had up until, this last fall, when LEGO decided to come out with a whole new system of roads. Now, rumors has it that base plates are actually a thing of the past. They're not making these anymore. They're out of stock on lego.com, which is usually an indicator that they're no longer making them. I've heard various reasons why. I have no idea. I don't have any contacts with LEGO, so I don't know. I just hear what I hear through the rumor mill. But for whatever reason, it seems like these might be going away. Now, you can still find them on the secondary market, and I'm sure they'll be around for quite some time. So if you really like these and you want to work with them, you can still get them, and they're still, you know, reasonably priced for now. But as time goes on, these are going to become rarer and rarer, much like these, where nowadays these cost a lot more and they're hard to find in the quantities that you might need, especially if you're building a larger city. So, you know, as time goes on, these are going to become harder to find. So if you really like them and you want to work with them now, my best bet or my best recommendation for you would be to actually buy them now so that you have them. But that's neither here nor there, because I really want to explore these new road plates, because they're not really base plates, or they're actual plates. Now, when they first came out, my initial reaction was, ugh, right? Like a lot of people, they were like, ugh, that's what is that? That's weird. It's got like weird, you know, cutouts in here, and it's thicker than a base plate. I mean, you can see right here the thickness. You know, what am I going to do with this? I'm not going to convert my whole city, blah, on and on and on, all these different, you know, reactions. And I said, you know, well, after I got over that initial shock of like, oh my gosh, this is new and weird, I said, you know what, I want to try it, because I started seeing what other people were doing with these, and there's actually some intriguing ideas, and I'm going to show you what I've mocked up in my city as one example of something that you can do with this new system. Now, the jury's still out for me. I don't know if I'm going to switch fully or not, but I am intrigued with the possibilities, and I'm going to actually tell you why and go into some detail and show you how I got it to work with the modulars, because my way, I've seen a bunch of different ways people have done it, and I discovered something that I'll share with you a little bit later on. So, first things first, so you'll notice right away these new roads are much smaller than the old ones. In fact, they're half the size. So whereas this was 32 studs across, these are 16. So right away, you know, this is a lot smaller, especially if you're limited on real estate like me. There's not much you can do. You're stuck with this size. You know, you could cut these if you really wanted to, but, you know, I don't like cutting unless I absolutely have to. So for this, you're kind of limited with the size. It's going to be 32 by 32, and that's it. You also have these sidewalks on the side, or these studs on the side, whether you like it or not, and you can't really do much with that. T's, crosses, intersections like that, the crosswalk parts, same thing, you're limited with that. So a T section always has a crosswalk if this were the T right here, it would always be a crosswalk here. You could never get a crosswalk anywhere else that you might want it. You would have to use a you know, a 4-way intersection if you wanted crosswalks, but then you're stuck with crosswalks at all 4 parts of the intersection. So a little limiting, right? With this, you have a lot more flexibility. You can do a lot more with this. You can, for example, if you wanted an extra wide road, you could actually have 2 lanes going in each direction. You could have 4 lanes going in one direction in the same 32 by 32 footprint as a traditional road plate. So a lot more flexibility right out of the gate with this. Also, as far as crosswalks go, the crosswalks are actually separate pieces. So you can see here, this is a more detailed mock-up, but you can see, so this is actually a separate piece. This is 8 studs, whereas these are 16. And so this right here, you can put it wherever you want. You want it here, you want it on the side, wherever you want it, you can move this around. So that is a lot more flexibility as well. Now, what am I thinking? So, so let me get into what I've done. I'm going to show you over here, and then I'll show you how I did it. Because, again, I was intrigued by this because, A, it's going to be kind of the way forward as far as I'm concerned. If they're not making road base plates anymore, then, you know, this is probably going to be the new thing. And they're probably going to keep producing this. And eventually, you know, who knows? Are they going to keep making modulars on base plates, or are they going to move modulars to something like this to line up with the new road plates? I don't know. So it's, for me, in my mind, it's better to be prepared than not. So let's take a look over here, and I'll show you what I got going on as far as what I came up with is with these new road plates. Okay, so this is the mock-up that I've done so far. Now, what you'll see here is, so I actually have 3 of the new road plates in the foreground here, and they actually span a full-size modular and a half modular. Now, what you'll notice right away is it's a lot smaller. I still have, you can see where the wood of my raised platform is exposed here because I don't have this pushed all the way forward. So right away I've gained more real estate, and for someone like me who's on a very small platform, this platform here is actually only 2 base plates deep. I've gained some more room behind the modulars. So I can do more of this kind of stuff. So I can actually add more facades behind my modulars because in this limited space that I have more room behind now. So I can actually slide this forward if I wanted to all the way up to the retaining wall. And I just picked up, you know, roughly, you know, I don't know, maybe like 16 studs of space behind there. So I can do quite a bit with 16 studs of space behind. You know, as you've seen before with some of these other modular or other facades that I've done behind the modulars, some of these are only like 2 studs deep. Others are 4. You know, as you get a crossover over here, some of these are much deeper. Some of these are 8 studs deep, but there's quite a bit I can do and a lot of flexibility. So again, if you're in a limited space, these can be a real lifesaver for you because you can limit it. You can make it just 16 studs deep and call it a day. And again, if you're worried about, oh, the road's too narrow, my cars aren't going to fit, especially if you're real like speed champions or things like that, it's really easy to widen these. All you need is a few tiles, and you can add just like 1 extra studs width of road, 2, 3, 4, I mean, all the way up to like a full, you know, 16 additional studs and have, like I said, 2 lanes. So you have a lot of variability and flexibility with that in order to make the roads the size that you want. The other thing that I figured out, again, so with the modulars, by raising them up to accommodate and to work with these new roads, you'll notice that the curb here, and let's zoom in here so you can see, the curb is a lot more pronounced. Now in the other parts of my city, if I scroll over to here, you can see the curb like right by the tree over there, but it's only 1 tile high. So it's there, but it's kind of, you know, not really there. You also have those goofy white stripes right next to it. So it's almost like that's, I don't know what that's supposed to be, but it's a weird, that always bothered me, those little goofy white stripes, and they're kind of hard. You could hide them, you could extend out, you know, cover it with like plates and tiles and whatnot, but then if you did that, you were going to be higher than your modular, so you ran into the same type of problems that you encounter with these new road plates. So you can get much higher height, and then the benefit of this, which I'm going to show you, the real advantage to doing this the way that I did, is that the modular sits completely flush with this new curb, and I'll actually show you how I did that in just a minute. Okay, so how did I do this? What's the secret? So if you notice from earlier, these new road plates are exactly 2 plates tall. So knowing that and knowing the geometry of like a plate with a tile, I was able to figure out with a little bit of experimenting that you could actually configure. So this is a mock-up of what you see over there by the town hall. So by making my road here, by adding some plates on the side here, and actually making them 2 plates high, right here, you can see these are 2 plates high. So this is a plate and there's another plate on top right here. By doing that, what happens, and I actually have, so imagine this is a modular. This is the world's smallest modular. But this is the base plate for the modular, right? So what happens is you actually take the modular, it actually sits right on top of the 2 plates right here. And if you overlap, which the modulars all have the light bluish gray curb in the front. So if you pop out the light bluish gray curb and you put some dark bluish gray tiles and have them hanging off the edge just like this, what you can do is you can put the modular on top of the 2 plates, and then I just have a light bluish gray, like where the curb is right here. You see that's the curb, and then you have a light bluish gray plate underneath here. But what happens is when you put the modular on top, all of this lines up perfectly. So you just push that in, and you can see how the base plate of the modular sits on top of the 2 plates here, which then locks into place on that light bluish gray plate, which then sits flush with the curb. So I just created, you see that, how I did that? I just created a fully flush sidewalk. And the added benefit too is that my sidewalk is also now like 1 2x2 tile wider. So some of the sidewalks, some of these modulars, they're pretty narrow. This gives you a little bit more depth, plus the curb. So actually you're a little bit further out, so you have a little bit more space there. So that's how it looks, simple as that. Now you're gonna say, but MrBookieboo, what am I gonna put back here to support the modular? Because this is normally like 32 studs this way. So if I did this right, my modular is gonna sag and it's gonna be like sloped downwards. Well, I'm glad you asked that. So I figured out, hey, I got some of these extra pieces that I don't necessarily need. So if you just put these, and you don't need a full like 32x32 spread of these to support even the big town hall back there, I just put 2 of them underneath there. So you just put these right underneath, and they actually support the base plate of the modular. See how I'm doing that right there? And so that's actually now supported so that the modular doesn't sag, and you have a nice new height for your sidewalk. Your modular's up higher, everything's up higher, your road's up higher, everything just kind of works, right? Coming back over here to the actual layout, you can see how everything just kind of fits together. So, you have your new road plate, which is 2 plates high, your raised sidewalk, and then beyond that, where everything connects to the actual modular, you can see everything, the modular sidewalk connects to the new road plate sidewalk that we created, and then it's all set up in a way so it all just flows seamlessly. And then again, by using these extra, and you don't have to use these, you can use anything to stack, you can just put stacked plates behind there. If you have extra plates laying around, whatever you need, you can just stack extra so it's 2 plates high behind there to support the modular. You're good to go. So it's not all that bad. It's really not. I feel that this has potential. Again, what I plan to do is I'm actually going to pull my modulars forward all the way to the retaining wall, so the road and the modular system is going to slide even closer to the retaining wall in the foreground here, which again is going to free up lots of space behind here, because right now you can actually see with like police station, it's like flush against the wall. There's no room back there to add anything, and so if you really want to add that depth, you can do that. Now, also, I'll just point out, if you're on a limited, even tighter space than this, I know some of you are building like on shelves, things like that, and you really want to have some roads in the foreground, this is a great alternative, because you can fit in like literally 1.5 base plates. You can actually have a layout which you can find shelves that are that deep. And so this is a great substitute, whereas before you would need 2 base plates with the road plate and the modular. This gives you much more, to work in a much narrower space. This allows you to do that. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think about this. I know it's, like I say, it's been really controversial. People either love it or hate it. It's been one of those things that, it's kind of been very divisive in the community, I think. And I feel that this
It doesn't need to be, because there's room for both. You know, you can still get, if you really want those base plates, you can still find them. The old-fashioned road plates, you can still get them for now. But knowing they're going to go away eventually, this is going to be, I feel, the way forward. And so if it is, it's nice to know that it does work. You can make it work with minimal effort. You have a lot more flexibility to do things that you want, and ultimately you can, you know, be a lot more creative. If you want to do, like, for example, if you want to make a bridge, well, with traditional road base plates, it was really difficult to do. I've done that before, and you have to build like a Technic structure underneath it, and then even then the road base plate was kind of floating, because the road base plates are not like system, they're not like tied into the Lego system. There's no studs on the bottom, so you can't really, the only way you can attach them is on the top with tiles, which it's possible to do, and I've done it before. But with these new road plates, you have studs on the bottom. So you want to build a bridge? No problem. You just stack your support columns right to the road plate, and off you go. You know, if you're complaining about this roads not being so thick or not wide enough for your cars, it's easy to fix. You can make it as wide or as narrow as you want. You know, I mean, you can't go much narrower than this, but I don't know that you'd want to necessarily. But you can definitely make it wider, even just as much as just one stud wider, which in fact I've done. On the far side here, you can see I've actually done that. So I've actually lengthened the road just a little bit. So mine are actually, the lane part is actually one stud wider on this side. I still have to complete this side here. And you do that just by adding some tiles into these little spots that you see right here. So you just pop in some tiles, add some plates underneath, and off you go. Instant wider road. So a lot more flexibility. So having said all that, like I say, let me know what you guys think. Are you planning to use these? Have you tried them? You know, what do you think about it? Is it something that you would like to experiment with? Or do you just hate it and you're not going to switch? And that's okay. It's okay. Any way you look at it, it's fine. So thanks for watching. Let me know your feedback. I'm curious to see what you guys think. And we'll be back soon with another video. So make sure you're subscribed and give me a like and give me some comments on this. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Thank you.